Welcome back to Unrated Podcast here. Take two. We're going to dive into, another Michigan football, another whirlwind week. It seems like, whenever we get a little bit of good news, a little bit of bad news sprinkled in shortly after. I think since last time we hopped on, Harbaugh decided to stay. We got him back for another season at the helm, taking the lead there. So, as well as some turmoil, craziness happened with assistant coaches, houses being raided. It's kind of crazy. But I'll kick it off to you here. Just kind of see whatever way you want to take it.
Yeah.
Stay
It's just
football.
it's funny because we was on here last week. Like, we promise we'll get to basketball season at some point, but I mean, I think this is just the life of being a Michigan fan. Like, it's literally just like a year-long soap opera. It's a lot of. I think I've become like. I'm sure you have too. It's kind of like hardened to it.
Mm-hmm.
I will say the computer crimes from Matt Weiss deal, that was a little like, what? You know what I'm saying? Especially until you hear somebody's house get raided. But yeah, I mean, I think there's one of the things where you're just like, you hope that everything kind of blows over. It's misunderstanding. Luckily it's not anything like federal, like they're not, involved on that, on that scale type quite yet. But I think at the end of the day, no offense to Matt Weiss, just glad we got Harbaugh back. Like, that's just, I think that was like the biggest, whatever you want to call it, caveat, or just thing that was kind of in the balance the last couple of weeks. It's good to know that, like, it's not him. I guess I've seen, James from Seed Sports Picks. He reached out to or said us something about how one of Harbaugh's friends on Twitter has kind of came out and was like, this isn't him just wanting to go to the NFL. This is more of him leveraging, like, the NFL wanting him because he doesn't feel like he's getting what's needed from the AD at Michigan currently. And never knew it was about, he like reneged on the contracts, wasn't giving money to assistants. And it's frustrating because you're like you're happy that Harbaugh's back, but understanding that as a fan, it's like as AD, it's
It
like
could
you
be an
watch all this
ongoing issue.
success.
It could be, yeah.
Right. It's like you watching all this success. It's like, I don't see why we're not doing everything in our power to keep this going and keep Harbaugh here and give him what he needs. I mean, at this point, I know we had high expectations. He wasn't coming through as much as we wanted him to start things off. But I mean, it took a little while, but I think he's really got this thing really humming now. So this is now where we really need to start leaning in on the NIL stuff, get these assistants their money. We got to try to keep all this together because we got all these kids coming back to try to run it back for a championship. So hopefully it'll start to, everything starts to kind of iron over as we get cool off and go away as we get closer to spring ball. But I doubt that'll happen.
Yeah. No, I think just starting with the Harbaugh situation, I think, we sat here and obviously I'm a Michigan fan regardless of who's at the helm, but I think as a Michigan fan, I want what's best for the program. And I think currently at the moment that is keeping Harbaugh, who has this thing, like you said, humming along, back-to-back Big Ten titles for the first time. I don't know when, but I know prior to last year, to the 2021 season, we hadn't won a Big Ten title in coming up on 20 years here. So to have two of them in a very short window with, I believe, I heard if you look at offense, defense, starters, backups across the board, we have 33 of 42 returning players on the roster. That's a highly experienced team, probably the best backfield duo in the country, along with the top, I'm safe to say top 5-10 quarterback in all of college football there. Yep. With 13 starts under his belt, 1 loss, I think, we have a lot to look forward to. And I think keeping Harbaugh on and letting him continue to grow this. We don't know what this could be. This could be the very early stages of a special run. And you don't want to undercut yourself by, just doing stupid mistakes. And pushing him out of the building would be a stupid mistake. And I also think just moving forward, to be honest, I don't know exactly what he did, and I don't want to, throw a guy under the bus. But I think personally, right now, probably keeping Matt Weiss sounds like a stupid mistake. He's seems like a cog in the wheel, a piece to the machine, and I don't necessarily think you should, stick your neck out too much for that type of situation. And if if it comes around, down the road that he did no fault, then maybe we could, whatever that maybe look like, come back and apologize. But I don't think you stick your neck out too far for this type of situation. And I think although him and what is it, Sharon Moore, I think are seem to be a great duo. I think we have to keep moving and do what's best for the program continuously.
Right.
And that's just what I'm looking forward to. And outside of that, a lot of exciting things happening as far as recruiting goes. I think we got a little boost by Harbaugh coming back. I'm seeing things on Twitter. They're seem to be making moves on top quarterbacks. I'm blanking on his first name, but you sent it to me. It was
Big Davis.
sorry.
About,
Yeah,
Dominic
both of them. I
Raiola.
know Davis seems to be a guy that's been on the radar for a while. I remember talking about him back in kind of like the summertime. He was a guy that's always been kind of Michigan throughout the season. He was rocking Michigan football cleats at certain times. So I would say that's the guy I know the most about. But recently, I think you brought up something about Dominic Raiola's son, the previous Ohio commit. I'm all for taking him as well. I think anytime you can, that's kind of like a 14-point swing. He decommits from you and decommits from Ohio and goes to you. So I think anytime that you get those swings, that's a big time. Just a lot to look forward to, a lot to be excited about. If you're Michigan fan, that 33 returning starters and backup is major.
It's huge. It's huge. And I think that's one of the things where like this NIL worked in our favor. They had that one more year initiative that they ran, where people were able to, donate money. I'm sure that's for boosters, some of them, big wigs, throw a couple of donations in there just to, give this team an opportunity to, run it back. And I think that's one thing that gets me though, just from like recruiting overall and just even like retaining them type of players for another year. Like, does Ward Manuel not understand that like all this is a domino effect? So if you like find a way to like push Harbaugh out, like Jaden Davis, that automatically goes out of the equation. Raiola, like that's somebody that he'll probably end up going to Nebraska anyways, just because he's got family there and that's where his dad went. But like you want to like we gotta you gotta keep all that stuff tight in house to give us a chance to continue to keep on this momentum going. And we literally had kids switching commitments on the field in Ohio after we beat them in their crib. Like you got it. Like this is like Harbaugh's doing. Like I think this is where we talk about always like getting out of our own way. Yeah, we were all. I'd say we were kind of, a little hard on Harbaugh sometimes. Some of it was warranted, not beating the rivals, and that was a huge thing. But now it's like these last 2 years, beating the rivals, Big Ten championship, semifinal, college football playoff bid. Like we gotta like return this favor to him. We can't just, do how we did, with the pay cut and everything. He's like the 5th or 6th biggest paid Big Ten coach. Or highest paid Big Ten or coach right now. We gotta work on some of that. And I think they gotta just give him one of them bags he can't refuse and just turn like a lifetime contract type deal. Just because I feel like that's like who else we gonna get to run things how he's got things going now.
I agree with that, and I think bare minimum you got to make him tied or the highest Big Ten paid coach.
Right.
I think he has earned that due. And if he decides to skip and run, this time next year, you can say you did everything in your power. We made him the highest Big Ten coach. And I think that's the way you have to look at it. If you're the program, if you're the people, the decision makers, deciding who to keep. But just to circle back around, when you said we were been hard on them, and I agree to us. It's easy to say that now, but we were in the trenches and we were getting the breaks beat off of us. 40 or what would it be like 62-39 and 48-24 and all that shit. Like that was bad, and so I think it's easy to kind of look back a little bit, but we're also real quick, just make a point. He's been here probably 8 years, 9. If looking back the day we hired him, if we talked and I said, hey, we'll have 2 Big Ten championships in the next 8 years, we would probably be fairly happy about that. But also, if I told you they didn't come to year 7 and 8, that would you would have wanted one of them to pop. And obviously that's the caveat to all this is and this is not a BS, we're 5 plays away from probably another 2 Big 10 championships. So I would say that's been the heartbreaking factor of it all is those teams were worthy,
Right.
and it failed. So it seemed it would be on the coaching staff, but they've got it sharpened over time and got this program running, and it's mortified. We have we know what we're doing. We have an identity, and we're coming in, and we're laying the wood. So I would say that, but in the trenches a couple years ago, I would it was hard out here. But they made the necessary changes, and I put that on Harbaugh. Got rid of Don Brown. Go back and look at those paper, you would say, damn, Don Brown had top 7 defense every year. But it didn't get the job done when it needed to. It's much better having, I don't know what our defense finished this year, but they were night and day better than any defense Don Brown had. And they probably weren't statistically ranked as high. So
and I think for me, like, because I still just think about how dark it was like 15 years ago. And I think about how like what Harbaugh had to walk into to try to like correct.
Yeah,
and
Rich Rod days.
Right, yeah, Rich Rod, the Brady Hoke days. I think just that the quick turnaround. I think it was at 10 wins. First year has a little bit of turbulence in there here and there. I'm not, definitely agree with you when it comes to like some of them blowouts against Ohio.
No, but you're right though, and that just one little thing I would say. You're right though. The Brady Hoke got hired, and I think that first year we won the Sugar Bowl or something like the All-State Sugar Bowl. Denard looked solid, and that was it was fake. It was never replicated again. That was 11 wins, and then 8, and then 6, and then fired. It was yeah. So
I think
versus coming in 10, 10, 9, 10,
Yeah. You look at I think we're, obviously we're one of them blue bloods of like the college football landscape. You look at schools like Miami that have not figured it out since the early 2000s. You got USC. They had a lot of turbulence the last 5 to 7 to 10 years. And like I said, at least he's right the ship. I'm glad to see that he's at least finally starting to beat rivals consistently. He's kind of first it was getting us to the mountain, and now he's finally gotten us to the mountaintop. So I do give him credit for that. And I think I just hope too, man, going forward,
now you just gotta take one more step and plant that flag. You gotta take it.
Yeah, it's throw $9 million on the table next couple years, you know what I'm saying? Just give him a nice little extension, at least show him that take care of the assistants, show him his work is I get it, we want the national championship, but compared to where we were 10 years ago, to now, I love where we're at. And I'm probably being one of those more content Michigan fans because just kind of wanting to root to see good football, at minimum. I think it's time for us to just kind of band together. He's going to continue to just try to go to the league if we just continue to play games like this. So rightfully so, he got the the pay cut. That was deserved. I think that good got him straight, set him straight. I think now it's he delivered, and we're just in a very, very crucial. This is probably the most critical I think it's been from a recruiting standpoint, just program standpoint, to try to keep him, in house and keep him committed, so we can start to go after these 5-star QBs. That's literally what's been missing in the last, his last 8 to 10 years. Getting we finally got JJ. Now it's
now get another one groomed. Yeah.
Right. Let's get more in on that action to start competing, for a national championship.
Yeah, no, you're not lying. If you assuming, I don't know, but I think there's a small chance in hell JJ could possibly go to NFL next year. But let's say, assuming he stays 2 more years, you would need to get one in there grooming next year. Right. Yeah, you would have to have a guy in there next year with 3 more years of eligibility. To go. But no, I agree. Yeah, I think it's always a critical time because the momentum in college football can change so quickly. And I think if you having this momentum, having a great young quarterback, you really have time to try to find one. I think that's wwhy they have a couple, they're out there really looking for one, because I think he knows that as well, that this is the first time he's got one. We burned through a lot that was supposed to be the truth. We could probably spend another 5 minutes naming people that didn't work out, that had flashes, but hopefully JJ can put it together again. I believe in him, but I think you got to get another one under there because that's the name of the game.
Right.
And yeah, and I think
100%.
vice and on that same shoe, Ohio State lost one. They don't seem to have like the next quote unquote Messiah in the tuck like they normally do.
Yeah.
And I think if we can play keep away and maybe steal that guy as well, I think that's twice as good.
Hmm.
So
That's
there it also hurt because we're looking at him, they turn around and try to go hard after Davis. So I think, an eye for an eye. But I like where we're sitting at here. We seem to have momentum with them as well.
yeah. And I think another thing too is like that's where it's people gonna come play for Michigan. They're gonna come play quarterback in Michigan because of Harbaugh, because he played quarterback in the NFL. He played quarterback at Michigan. Like he has that pedigree. Almost, I would even say. I mean, I know Ohio got the receivers, but I feel like if we can really just like get Harbaugh right, with like that could be one of our staples
Mhm.
too. Like
I
we could
agree.
like
You just need one to
quarterback
hit.
side of things.
I think he has a lot of tangibles, but you get one to hit.
Yep.
JJ go get another Big Ten championship, throw for 25 plus touchdowns, less than 6, 7, 8 picks. That
Hmm.
somebody's gonna obviously go ahead and draft him. I'm sure he's gonna run good 40. I'm sure
Right.
he can make all the throws in the shorts. So I think we'll get a high draft pick. Obviously whether he works out in the NFL is a whole nother thing here, but I think
Right.
he has the tangibles to definitely get taken. And I think that's what. Let's just be real. If I'm an NFL, if I'm a top college quarterback, I want to go to a place where I could be in NFL. I
Yep.
want and we obviously we can always sit there and point at Brady. But other than that, we haven't had much as NFL type quarterback here. Chad Henne had a
Hmm.
splash. I guess he's still in the league probably, but Chad Henne had a little tiny run. Denard ended up playing running back.
Brian
That's about
Allen had
it.
a nice little stint, but other than that, it's really been like it's kind of surprising that we really haven't like hit on that
Mhm.
position like that. And I feel like I know that might have to do with our offense as well. Obviously just with how we like to run the ball quite a bit, but I mean that's just another thing I think just kind of goes into why Harbaugh is so important, just him to be happy and him wanting to actually be there, because now these kids, their minds change like the wind. You know, Kittle, kids will walk into the coach's offices now and be like, well, this school's so, calling me about this school's calling me about that. Like that could like it's important just keeping him in place and keeping all this stuff tight, because you do start, it could be like a real serious domino effect that could start affecting like future classes and just like this production and this momentum that we have going forward. So, but yeah, like you said, I mean, I like where we're at. It's great to see. I saw a video of Hardball yesterday at Bellevue High School, walking around with a hex bar and doing shrugs and just doing goofy hardball stuff. So
Yeah, I seen that
it's good
same
to
video and somebody photoshopped the Big Ten championship trophies on the side of it.
I love it. But yeah, like I said, I think
Yeah.
all is right in Ann Arbor to a certain extent. We'll see what happens with Matt Weiss. But I think I'm glad to just kind of see. Shout out to Santa Ono stepping in and just really, sounds like trying to smooth things out. I hope to see an extension in the next couple months, sooner than that. So we can, Harbaugh just has a clear mind to just lock in and get JJ right and spring balls. So we can just, make another run at three-peat. So
Yeah, 100%. And I think, just to, kind of keep our promise from last time, we're going to dive into, some Michigan basketball Pistons. I'm not sure which way you want to take it first, but,
yeah,
you know, um,
yeah, we'll jump into the Pistons. They kind of cool. They're going over to France. They're already there playing the Bulls tomorrow, 3 o'clock Eastern time. That'd be a hopefully. I think at this point in the season, you have to forgive us. We still working our way into basketball season, but I mean the season is what it is right now. We got a lot of young guys going out, trying to ball out, play the best they can. Um, Definitely got to look at the Casey situation from a coaching standpoint. But you like to see Killian. I mean, last 2-3 months, he's been averaging around like 13 and like 7. Got a couple 20-point games in there, shooting the ball way better. Jalen Duren is, starting to just, he's continuing to, do well and play a lot better. Jay Ivey, our top 5 pick, he's been doing a good job of just really getting accustomed to, the NBA, play style. Good to see Sadiq Bey. He was in a terrible slump from start of the season until like a couple weeks
yeah,
ago.
recently.
I think I saw him hit a game winner, and he scored 31 in a loss to New Orleans. But it's good to just kind of see some of these guys, get into their own. Cade is back with the team. I think he was kind of just had the surgery and was kind of bedridden for a few weeks after the surgery. Heard he's in good spirits. Everything is trending in the right direction. So if anything, at this point, I'm just kind of hanging my hat on watching these kids just continue to grow and develop for the rest of the season, but not too much. So we can continue to stay in that Wemby sweepstakes because it's looking like that's where we're gonna end up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully, with the season how it's going, all you can do at this point is hope for a top 3 draft pick. And they're not winning 25 straight games in a row anytime soon. So
yeah, I think that's exactly where I'm at. And, just being honest, I think it's hard to watch.
it is.
It's hard to watch. I do try to dive in. Fox Sports Detroit. I'll dive in, and we'll be getting the breaks beat off of us by 23 points. Early second quarter, I'll turn it off, and then next thing I know, we're rumbling back into it to a certain degree. But I think that's kind of the nature of the game with a very young team, with one of your key players out. And I think at this point in the season, what I'm really looking forward to is, like you said, watching these young players continue to develop. Duran, Jaden Ivey, watching them two guys cook. And I imagine what I also want to see over the next, call it 8 weeks here is, probably begin to get our arsenal of picks back here. I imagine Alex Burks is gone. We talk about Nerlens Noel. We talk about Bogdanovich. I imagine between them combinations of players, there's probably another first round pick sitting there, maybe another role player type guy. But I think that's kind of where we are. I think, and I'm kind of, I'd be lying if I said that, I'm not excited about potentially getting this, the guy that seems to be like the biggest freak in the last 25 years of the draft. But, I'm not going to get up my hopes too high on that. But I think either way, I think it doesn't, like you said, I can't see us rattling off getting hot here anytime soon. So I think, let these young players continue to cook. I'm just hate to say it, I would have never thought I would have said this a couple years ago, but Dwayne Casey's probably on the way out. We got to begin to look at what that looks like, how soon you want to do that. You want the new coach probably in there for the draft preparations, all that good stuff.
I think it's time for new blood. Like, I think he came from Toronto, had these all-stars, this great team.
No, I agree. I agree.
I think it's time for some new blood, like younger, kind of relate a little bit better to these guys. Something's not hitting to where, they're just giving up 120 a game. So
it is a bit of a disconnect. And I do think, like you said, there's new blood. I think, going into next year, Cade would have been 2 years under his helm and probably won 48 games. Jaden Ivey ain't winning many games this year. Babe would be another year under him, probably ain't won but 65 games. So I think, like you said, I think shake it up a little bit, but also I don't want to see us go some crazy route, and hire fucking, Steve Nash or Dirk Nowitzki or some random coach that ain't never coached. Just give somebody a helm. I think get somebody in here proven.
First assistant.
Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah.
Take a Celtics assistant. I'll take any Warriors assistant.
Yeah. Somebody proven, been around the block. Somebody like that. I think that's what we're kind of what we need.
Cause I kind of I see I don't know. I kind of see I thought we kind of could be like Boston. You know what I'm saying? Like hit good on top 3 pick, top 10 pick. Kind of 2 or 3 years in a row. They had a better nucleus, so they was able to compete in the playoffs and stuff a lot earlier on. But yeah, I thought we would at least with second. I know K got hurt. That's probably 5 to 7 wins. We just not gonna get because he got hurt. But I just at least hope that some of them guys are going to take more of a step. But this year, but it's looking like it's going to be more of a next year type deal. And it happens. Like I said, I think there's the youth, and I think there's a issue with the coaching. So youth already, you're already going to kind of be on the the bad end of a lot of games, night in, night out, just because you got a bunch of 22, 23-year-olds, a couple 19-year-olds. But hopefully they can find somebody to get them in sooner rather than later and start to just try to develop these guys and get them buy in a little bit more.
Right. No, I think I agree with that, and I mean, I'm just kind of spitballing here, but I think I don't know. I'm at this point in time, I think it's the Victor. What I can never say his last name.
Wembanyama.
Yeah, if he is, I don't know. It almost seems too good to be true. And you know, and it just seems kind of crazy. Like, is he really that damn good? So,
Yeah.
I think, that's the question of the summer. Even before we get, obviously we have to get the pick because he's definitely the number one pick there. But
Right.
it's one of those questions of that's the question of the summer. And if that is the case, I hate to say this, but there might be a good number two or somebody else sitting there if we don't get the pick. That just gets blatantly overlooked.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of the other guy's name, Henderson.
Oh, Scoot.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, somebody like that. I'm not saying him for sure, but somebody like that just might get completely overlooked in
Yep.
this type of situation where there's such a clear cut number one. Yeah, just a I don't know, crazy
I
whirlwind.
think
I would have
it's too good to
never,
be
ever,
true.
ever thought we would be this bad. We were talking, about being competitive heading into the All Star break, and we were the exact opposite of competitiveness. And like you said, the demoralizing part of all of it is looking up and 130 a night, 140 a night. On a good night, we in the one teens. It's
Yeah.
like, you know, it's sad to see when you look up and you're like, oh damn, they only gave up 111. It's like, yeah,
Right.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just
And I yeah, and I think too, just like when it comes to, I agree with that. Victor Wembanyama does kind of seem like not. He doesn't seem very real. Like, so I just want to ask you this: if we do end up getting the number one pick, I mean, just what if they traded it for like? Let me think here real quick. What if they traded it for like? Well, first, what would you say is the biggest need like on our team from like a position standpoint? Small forward.
I guess it's tough because if you're trying to say some dude that's transcending talent, then I mean you can always do it. I mean, it doesn't matter. An NBA
Yeah.
team, is kind of positionless basketball, I would say. But um, yeah, I would guess I would agree with that. Duran's going to be taking care in the front court.
Yeah.
We got the guards for the most part covered. I would agree with that.
So I was thinking like, what if? And I'm just like throwing out a player name, just I can't. Of course, nobody's other names really coming to me right now. But what if we just, you know, gave Boston number one overall pick and like, future one and Jalen Brown for like, for the number one overall pick and maybe shipping off like Sadiq Bey or like Isaiah Stewart. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if we could just kind of like, I don't know. I'm trying to be patient,
Yeah.
but I'm just so disappointed
Yeah.
about how
So
this
I
year
would say
unfolded.
this. I would say with the hype the guy has, I almost think you have to take him. I mean, just being
Okay.
honest. But
Yeah.
with that being said, if I were going to trade him, it'd have to be for a guy who could get us to the
Next level.
championship damn
Okay.
near immediate. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
somebody like at the, at the tippy top.
Yeah.
Like
That's
or
fair.
right under. Somebody like
Right.
all-star quality. Like you said, somebody like that. But I would say maybe a step or two above him, but somebody that's going to
Yeah.
just set you off.
Right.
Because if he hits, I just gave you LeBron. You know, I think I know that's blasphemy.
Yeah. No, that's a good call. Yeah. No, that's a good call. 'Cause I'm just kind of spitballing here. I'm just like kind of thinking in my mind because it is one of the things where it's like there's always in the back of your mind like sometimes especially guys come from overseas. I mean you've seen them play a lot better lately.
Mhm.
We also just had the Darko Milicic fiasco. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying this guy. I'm just saying like because I like our team and I'll be honest like we might not even have a chance of getting him, but it's like where you gonna go? I'm like got Stewart, you got Duran,
No,
you got
I'll say this: the fix is in on this dude. Like I have never seen the NBA hype up a player that so much has not been like. Go to the NBA Twitter page of the official NBA. They tweet this dude every other day.
It's crazy.
And there's never, to my knowledge, I don't remember 3 years ago Zion getting pumped like this. I don't, to that magnitude. So, I mean, obviously Zion was hyped. I don't remember the NBA particularly hyping up. I don't remember the NBA coming out and saying, no matter who Zion goes to, we're going to stream his games on NBA TV or NBA.com. They said that. They're going to stream his games no matter who he goes to. Why? I mean, not saying, you know what I mean? Like, but it's kind of crazy. Like, and not to say that I think maybe they think he's so transcending and maybe obviously he's a global player, but
it's just like
we've had previous, Luka was a top 3 pick. That didn't happen. Obviously back to, the Paul Gasols and Dirk Nowitzki's, it's just kind of, it's interesting just to see it all. And
it almost makes you it almost makes you just be like,
yeah,
this dude just can't be this good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like you see he's 7'4", he can handle the ball, he can shoot it the way he can. I'm just like looking at him like I don't know. Like he'll probably come in and crush it, but it is one of the things where, like you said, like you don't want to give up LeBron, but like, I'd be just curious to it'd be interesting to see what kind of deals start to, like, you just hear about, like, the rumor mill and trading and stuff, or whoever gets that first overall pick, what they, how they kind of plan to go about it. But yeah, I guess, time will tell, at least from here on out. But looks like we're going to end up being in the mix for that pick.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm trying to think of literally somebody, like, let's say we get the number 1 pick, somebody I would do it. And that they would actually probably offer. I'm thinking like Trae Young.
I'm pulling the NBA All-Star voting right now. We can just, let me see, because I think this will be a good, let's see, scrolling. All right, trying to pull it up. Here we go.
But yeah, no, I just he seems like a transcending player. It's just the hype behind him is what scares me.
All right, so all right, I'm just gonna rattle off a couple players here.
I'll say yay or nay.
Luka.
Yay.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
No.
Devin Booker.
Yeah.
De'Aaron Fox.
No. Even though they are 4th in the West, which I was shocked by when I seen that yesterday.
Yeah. Jamal Murray.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. So it had to be. It is kind of interesting because it's such a I don't know.
Like I said, I can't find somebody that's like, all right, like.
I agree with you. It's tough, but it would have to be a dude like Luka can get you to the championship.
I just want to win. I just want like 40 bro. I will literally must cutting the beard playoffs. That is now a whenever they do it deal. Like I'm that's on the table every season until they make the playoffs. That's how bad I want it. Like I just want to win.
No, not this year, bro. You're being fake.
Right.
How about you don't cut it till they're in the playoffs? That's the other.
Me down in here. We'd be on here. You just see my face. You see my eyes. Just
this shit never worked.
Yeah. No, but yeah, no, I think that was just a good just kind of checking and seeing who's available, who's not.
No, I think it's going to be an interesting conversation because I think people are going to be drooling over him, fighting over him, and I think let's just be honest, the usual suspects aren't in it. Like I'm pretty sure the Knicks are a playoff team this year. The Lakers don't got their pick. I think if not us, I think Chicago's decent, Miami's decent. All the big spots are taken. So I think it's gonna be us and a couple other random ass cities. So I think that
they can't OKC get another top 10 pick.
We're in France. Yeah, they're gonna send my man from France to fucking Oklahoma City. He's gonna stay over there.
Right. Yeah, he's like, I need y'all. I'll come back maybe the next year. Just get traded or something. Yeah,
I agree, bro. It's sad. I would have never thought we'd be in this position. But in general, I think we got, like you said, hey, if K was on the team now, it'd be that much more bearable. It's just sad that he got hurt. It's I'm looking at the shit right now.
At the end of the day, I mean, I get these kids, they props, they playing hard, they out there like killing them. I mean, we've been asking him to get traded since he got drafted, and I think he's done at least a great job to, at least be a formidable backup at this point.
Real quick, we got the worst record. Charlotte Hornets second. Houston Rockets. That might be where that motherfucker ends up. But Houston Rockets, third worst record. Spurs.
They've gotten like a nice little haul. They have had like 7 first-round draft picks. The Rockets have the last couple of years.
Yeah. And they hit him on that big ass
Hard trade.
Yeah, he's solid, bro. Like
Yeah.
14 and 9.
I'm hearing like Jokic. You trade Wemby for him.
I'd rather drive Darko again. No, it's fine.
But no, yeah, I mean, like I said, this point,
hey, this is all I'm gonna say about that. Me and my dad were talking about who could possibly become, if anybody active right now, could become an all-time leading scorer. And my dad was like, "What about the Joker?" And I sent him. I was like, I hope not, bro. Like, that should be the worst ever. Like, yeah, it would.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
No,
but yeah, no, I think at the end of the day, I mean, at least they're playing hard. I mean, I guess we don't hate looking at mock drafts every other week either way. So, they play hard, do what they can do. Just hope at this point get a nice top 3 pick, top 2 pick, and then look at getting different coach in there, making some other changes to the roster, and got probably $50 million in cap space this summer too. So hopefully we can make a big splash and really really compete. Come next season.
100%. You want to dive into Michigan basketball? Wrap it up.
We can go ahead and wrap it up. We can talk about that on Sunday.
Sure. All right. We'll be back at you. Michigan basketball facing off versus Maryland tomorrow. Yeah, we'll be back at you on Sunday. Peace.